On this episode of Just Informed Talk, Q exposes the brazen plot to illegally exonerate Hillary Clinton and frame Donald Trump. Will former FBI Director James Comey be indicted? Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to Just Informed Talk. First, I want to say thank you to all my new subscribers, everybody who's come and hit that button. If you haven't done that already, please come here to the landing page, click the big red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way you'll be notified when these videos get posted. This is where we're going to start. It's right where we left off. If you guys want to get caught up on the latest posts and what's going on, I encourage you to come back here, watch these last few videos, especially this one. It's incredible. Q did a Q&A and we talk about basically, are we alone? And Q gives us an answer. And if you guys want to get that information, definitely go watch that video. Also, there's just a bunch of great information that you can get from these videos if you want to go back and watch them. Also, if you're scratching your head going, what's QAnon? Watch this video right here. Make sure you share it with your friends and family. If they don't know about this, it gives you a good insight into, what QAnon, the Great Awakening is, how to get involved, how to do the research, where to find the information, all of that good stuff. So with that being said, let's get into this, where we're going to start. And we're going to start right here with this video from Laura Ingraham's show, and it's back from the 14th, so about a week ago, where Joe DeGeneva is talking about how newly released stroke page text messages are going to lead to possibly the indictment of former FBI Director James Comey based on the fact that there was a brazen plot, and these are the words of Joe DeGeneva, to illegally exonerate Hillary Clinton while at the same time, if she loses, setting up a frame job on the President Trump. So that being said, I want to share this video with you guys. Watch this really quickly.
This is they call Trump an autocrat? This is maddening.
As I've been saying for 2 years, there was a brazen plot to illegally exonerate Hillary Clinton in the email case, and then if she lost, to frame Donald Trump. And that is exactly what these texts are about. Whether or not Mr. Strzok and Lisa Page and others are indicted is certainly a question people can debate. But let me just say, I know that there is a grand jury underway. Testimony is being taken about Strzok, Page, McCabe, and others involved in this case, and the reason we know it is that James Baker, the former general counsel of the FBI, has turned state's evidence and is fully cooperating with the inspector general and with the federal grand jury. I can assure you, Mr. Comey has been very silent in recent weeks, and the reason is very simple. He knows he's going to be indicted.
And there you go. And of course, that is where Q points us to that exact moment in the video. So the Q post that Q gives us is a previous one from September 11th, a few days before that video interview was taken on the Ingraham angle over on Fox, where it says, "Panic in D.C., James Baker testifying against Comey." Q. Now, this is from a previous set of posts that we went through. And then Q gives us this link to that YouTube video we just watched and the minute mark from which to watch it from. And that is what you, I think, are supposed to take away. Basically is the fact that Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, the texts that are coming out are basically, they're very, it's a lot of damning evidence for the FBI and the DOJ and what they're talking about in those text messages. But really, the responsibility and the fault lies at the feet of the director, the man in charge, James Comey. And if James Baker, who formerly worked with James Comey in the highest levels of that office, who knows what he has on James Comey and what went on behind the scenes when it comes to the Hillary Clinton investigation, where you have Peter Strzok in charge basically of it, and he's just running amok and an anti-Trumper and a pro-Hillary lover, and just these text messages where they're going to set up insurance policies and do media leak strategies and all that stuff. Who knows what James Baker really knows? And that's really interesting. So again, here's the next Q post. So an Anon posts this, talking about how there's a 10-minute delta between basically text or tweets from President Trump and posts here on the board. But Q responds to this Anon by basically saying that it's actually less than 1 minute. And it says, "Ever wonder how that's possible?" And it gives this tweet from President Trump. And what President Trump is saying, it's basically an endorsement of this Congressman Jay Weber, who's running for Congress in the 11th District of New Jersey. He's an outstanding in every way, strong on borders, loves our military and our vets, big crime fighter. Jay has my full and total endorsement. Now, this tweet was put up at exactly 10:30. And the previous tweet it was probably about 4 hours before that when that previous tweet came in. Or before it had been 4 hours since President Trump had tweeted. I should say it like that. And Q points out the fact that the post that we just went over, this post right here, came in at 12:29, approximately less than 1 minute before Q posted that, or President Trump tweeted. So less than 1 minute before President Trump tweeted, you have Q posting, and it's very interesting because what we're going to look at next is even more interesting. But Q says less than one. Ever wonder how that's possible? And then an Anon in the next post actually posts to Q this board. It's from qmap.pub. Get a lot of information there if you want. It's a great resource. But here it's showing this analytics graph, and it's comparing from October 2017 to September 2018 the times of Q posts versus POTUS President Trump tweets. And it looks like they line up almost exactly, which is pretty incredible, to be quite frank. And that to me is something that's fascinating, and how they line up, and how basically what the insinuation is here is that there's a correlation in the amount of posts, and Q says impressive, Anon. And that's basically just him, giving him a shout out, saying good work. So that's the way I read that. I thought that was very fascinating. And you guys let me know what you think down in the comments if I'm missing something there. Now, the next one is an Anon posting this, kind of a compilation of different Q posts where it's talking about the Patriots fight board over on 8chan, number 267. And then it gives 221 with the post here from Q, and 221 is James Baker testifying against Comey, and this is the YouTube video we just watched with Joe DeGeneva. And then here is the exact part of the video that we just watched, where it quotes Joe DeGeneva, who you just heard say, as I've been saying for 2 years, there's been a brazen plot to illegally exonerate Hillary Clinton in the email case, and then, if she had lost, to frame Donald Trump. And that is exactly what these texts are about. Whether or not Mr. Stroke and Lisa Page and others are indicted is certainly a question people can debate, but let me just say, I know there is a grand jury underway. Testimony is being taken about Strzok, Page, McCabe, and others involved in this case. And the reason we know it is that James Baker, the former general counsel of the FBI, has turned state's evidence and fully cooperating with the inspectors general and the federal grand jury. I can assure you, Mr. Comey has been very silent in recent weeks, and the reason is very simple. He knows he's going to be indicted. And then Q says, panic in D.C. regarding Baker confirmed. Note, Inspector General involved. And then it gives us these three guys, John Huber, Inspector General Michael Horowitz, and NSA Inspector General Storch. Now, this is very fascinating because Q laid it out in the last video, if you guys want to go back and watch it, that Inspector General Storch is this new arrival who may not be so new to the party after all. He may have been working behind the scenes for a while, as his appointment to the NSA Inspector General's office as the head of it was back in 2017. And it would seem that would be, he's on this committee of Inspector Generals. And so what Q's telling us is that Storch can connect with all of the various Inspector Generals throughout our nation's federal government and agencies, and they can actually, that's a good way to compile information to share the data of what's actually going on behind the scenes. And that's exactly what this statement is meant to mean. It's John Huber, the U.S. Attorney, Inspector General Horowitz, and the NSA Inspector General Storch. So there you go. Yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Thought I'd like to share it. So then the next one is an Anon posting. It says Q post was 28 seconds before tweet. Donald J. Trump's, President Trump's first tweet in about 4 hours. And the Q says, correct, Anon. What does that tell you when it continually happens, Q? And that's what I've said. I don't believe in coincidence anymore. I think we've had so many proofs just via President Trump's Twitter and Q that to this point, it's fairly reasonable to say that this is real. We're getting intelligence from military intelligence and people around the president, and it's just an incredible time to be alive in the next great American revolution that we are putting forward right now. We're breaking the chains of the globalists that are trying to destroy our country, that tried to enslave us. Now, the next one is an Anon saying things are moving, and Q responds saying faster than you know, but that will soon change regarding visibility. Public interest forces the sun to shine. Why are we here? Q. Okay, so sometimes these are just so ambiguous, they're hard to really pull anything out of. Suffice it to say that I think that there's a correlation between sunshine, that, obviously we're bringing light to the dark and that kind of thing, but the first thing that pops in my head, I don't know why, is the Sunshine State, Florida, something going to happen in Florida. Another thing that I was reading from the Anons talks about sunshine and then relates it back to this story that we've been, I haven't really been covering it too much on here because there wasn't much to cover. But for those of you who don't know or, didn't see this story, there was a solar observatory in Sunspot, New Mexico that was shut down earlier this month after the FBI went in and raided it unexpectedly, shut down the whole complex, and basically started to conduct an investigation. Now, everything was really closed-lipped around it, and a lot of people suggested that there was something to do with aliens, something to do with, an asteroid or whatever. Who knows, right? Some sort of alien thing. But nobody really knew. And now the official story has come to light. Now, what is that story about? Well, it talks about child pornography. It's saying that child pornography is the reason behind the Sunspot Observatory closure, according to court documents. Now, what happened? Well, basically what the official story is now coming out of the FBI is that at this observatory in Sunspot, New Mexico, there was a janitor who was working there, presumably, just worked there, whatever, on a regular basis, and had access to the Wi-Fi at the observatory. Now, basically what they said is that the observatory itself had been basically picked up because of the fact that this janitor apparently had been using the internet there to download illegal pornography. And that is quite disturbing in and of itself, and to me, it sounds pretty crazy to think about that was the whole story. But, some people are a little doubtful. I even took a poll just because I was curious. I put this up and I just asked you guys if you guys believe the official story. Again, we're over here on my Twitter at Justin_formed on Twitter right here. You can come find me. But I asked everyone, what do you think? Do you believe the official story? 13%, I have 135 votes so far. And of that, we have 13% of you saying yes, 74% saying no, 9% said aliens, and 4% had their own theories. So this to me is just an incredible story, and I think that could also be what Q was pointing us to, as in the public interest forces the sun to shine, meaning public was so interested in what was going on at this observatory that they had to do it. And was it just the janitor? Was there something even more nefarious going on behind the scenes? That to me is still yet to be determined because we don't have enough information. But you guys can go check it out on Twitter. This actually is right up on my Twitter page. It shouldn't be pretty hard to find. Just come over here to at Justin_formed on Twitter and you can check it out for yourself. So that being said, the next post is an Anon posting a put together, basically a graphic where it shows the timestamps from the president's tweet and the post from Q and how they co-align to almost the same minute, inside of a minute. Now, don't forget, too, this is the first post from Q since yesterday, and it co-aligns exactly with President Trump's first post after a few hours. So that's another thing that Q says. Q says, thank you, Anon, and the graphic was put together. So there you could see it for yourself. You can see the timestamp 10:30 and 10:29 and how close together that is. Q has told us before that maybe there's two phones in the Oval Office and one is doing Q posts and the other's doing tweets on Twitter. So, there you go, right? Now, the next one here is an Anon saying, to keep the will of the people on your side in the face of incessant gaslighting by the mainstream media, we are with you. But it can be very frustrating on this side of the curtain. Visibility helps. Q responds, imagine the frustration if we weren't here communicating with you. You are many tens of millions strong. Q, let your voices be heard. Information is meant to be free. Power to the people. Q. And I could not agree more with the full sentiment of what Q's saying. We are very thankful for Q coming here, for Q putting this information up and giving it to us, and allowing us to disseminate across a huge audience, the whole world, really. I know I've been contacted by people from all over the world who watch this and are very, very keeping up to date with it. And then you have Q telling us there's tens of millions, which is very true, people who are following this movement. And the information is meant to be free, as in, it's free for us all to share and look at and to look at together. So I think that is really important, and the power is being brought back to the people, and the voices will be heard, such as yours and mine and everyone who has been basically wiped out by the mainstream media. We've been wiped out of existence, but now we're making a comeback. Like I've said, this is the second or whatever great American Revolution where we're coming back, and we're going to take back our country from those who have basically done their best to destroy it. Now, the next one is an Anon here who says, basically, they have this picture of the United States Marine Corps, and they say, Q, our son is shipping to the United States Marine Corps recruit training in San Diego soon. Proud for him to serve. And Q says, we thank him for his service to this country. May God watch over him always. God bless Patriot. Where we go one, we go all. Q. And I could not agree more. Best wishes to the family of that soldier, Marine, who's going to be going in, Marine, who's going to be becoming a real true American hero. Thank you to the family. I know that they serve just as much as the individual having to have their loved ones in harm's way. But we can only say thank you. We can only pray, and we can only be very thankful that we have men and women in our country who are willing to make that sacrifice and go do what they have to do to keep us safe. And I'm certainly thankful, and I know you guys are too. Now, the next one is this Q post where Q gives us this cutout from this is qmaps.pub, and it says here, was moving the date back on POTUS FEMA presidential alert. This is a previous post we got yesterday from Q. It's significant in the Q&A section. So the Anon was asking, was moving the date back on POTUS FEMA presidential alert significant? And Q says, due to Kavanaugh confirmation push, hand in hand, Rod Rosenstein stand down due to Kavanaugh confirmation. Now, I kind of read this pretty simply yesterday, but I think Q wants us to read a little bit more into it, which I thought was very interesting. Now, Q reminds us of this secret, I'm doing air quotes, you guys can't see it, but secret recording showing GOP's Devin Nunes saying Rosenstein impeachment would delay Supreme Court pick. Now, what does this have to do with that post that Q's pointing us to? I think it has a lot to do with this post. And what does it have to do? Well, simply put, what Q, I think, is trying to relay to us is the fact that when the media ran with this story about, it was a dinner function and Devin Nunes was giving a speech to a group of individuals, probably donors, and he basically made the comment, and it was a very matter-of-fact thing. It's not like there was any secret, it was secretly recorded, but I don't think it's a big secret that if we went after Rod Rosenstein for his basically dereliction of duty and his inability to effectively administer the office of the Attorney General without, or in an unprejudiced and unbiased way, if we went after Rosenstein, it would actually delay the whole Supreme Court process or Supreme Court picking process of Judge Kavanaugh, probably simply due to the fact that would be taking a precedent over doing other things like doing the confirmation hearings and having these, interviews and all that stuff. So it would have been a very big distraction, and we were trying, obviously, to get Kavanaugh on the bench before October 1st, which is when the new docket of Supreme Court cases comes in and they start working again. So that is really what Q is pointing us to, is the fact that the whole thing that was with Rod Rosenstein had to do with the fact that we pushed it back to this point, and we pushed back this emergency alert and all that because Rod Rosenstein being taken out may be in that message. I don't know. But if that were the case, that'd be pretty incredible. If President Trump's going to put out a presidential alert and say, "Attention, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein is a complete liar." I don't know, whatever it would be. So that to me is an important note that Q wants us to look at, kind of behind the reasoning for pushing back Rod Rosenstein being removed. And that could actually play into how the declassification comes, but we'll have to wait and see on all of that. Now, the next one is the last one. Q tells us it's basically this kind of graphic put together. It's a meme basically put together by some Anon that says it's got these people in an art gallery and they're looking at this painting, and the painting has been like kind of photoshopped to have a Q, and it says the greatest military intelligence operation of our time. And Q says, history will judge you well, Q. And I hope so, because I've put a lot of faith into this. I'm always skeptical. I'm always asking questions, and I always want to get to the truth. But having done this for as long as I have and seen everything that I have, all the evidence that's been mounting, I can tell you right now that this is real, Q is real, and what we're doing here is very real. So that is definitely something to take note of. Now, before we go, I want to say there's a few ways that you guys can, if you want to stick around, there's a few ways you can help the channel. First of all, come here, click the big red subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. Make sure you watch these videos and share them. That helps out the channel big time. And also, please leave your thoughts, theories, and insights down in the comments, because I'd love to hear what you guys have to think about everything we went over. I know I asked you guys to clarify some things if I missed anything, and just go down there and have a great conversation. Even if you can't comment, scroll down and read through the comments. You're going to learn something you didn't know otherwise. Now, another great way to help is to come over here and find me on justinformednews.com. It's the website that's going to be the official website for Just Informed Talk. You guys come over here. There's new stories I'm trying to get up all the time. This is a new story I just posted today, which talks about the mysterious murder in D.C. of a D.C. lobbyist. And you guys can come read this, and also you can come back here and watch this video if you want to get the full insight on that. But come support the channel over here on justinformednews.com. When you come here, we're still in beta. We're trying to optimize the website, make it really good for you guys. So it's basically everything here is subject to change, but I'm depending on you guys to come give feedback about the website. Let me know what you think about the content, all of that. So that definitely helps. So remember, go to justinformednews.com. Now again, like I said earlier, come over and check me out on Twitter. Give me a follow. It helps out big time at Justin_formed on Twitter. Again, what's great about Twitter is you get all my quippy little posts and tweets, but then you also get the articles get posted here from the website, and the videos from the YouTube channel get posted here. So it's a good way to get notified when that information is made available. Now, another thing that's coming up in December that I'm keeping you guys apprised to is the fact that you guys know I was in DC last week. I was supposed to be at a conference, and it's this conference, the American Priority Conference. It was supposed to be in September. It's been moved to December, so I'll be back in D.C., in Washington, D.C., December 6th through 8th at the Marriott Wardman Park Hotel at the American Priority Conference. Now, what is the American Priority Conference? It is an incredible conference that's being put together by a friend of mine, Alex Phillips. He's done amazing work getting some great people together. There's going to be so many great people. If you're in the DC area and you want to get involved and you want to come meet me and a lot of other much cooler people than myself, I encourage you to come here and click this register button. You can get tickets. When you do that, if you guys want a discount, there's a 5% discount if you use the coupon code JustInformedNews. Yep, just like the website. If you use JustInformedNews as your coupon code, you can get 5% off that ticket. There's going to be so many great people there. Matt Couch, Laura Loomer, that's just to name a few. And who knows who else is going to show up. There may be some really big names as well. So you guys are going to want to come check this out for yourselves and get involved however you can, because it's going to be a great time. And I can't wait to be there. I haven't figured out exactly what part of it I'm going to be participating in, but I'm just excited to be there, to meet all the incredible people and to make the networking connections and to just be there in the middle of it all. So you guys will probably enjoy that just as much. If you guys want to do that, come register and you can get involved today. Now, two other ways you can help out the channel financially, and they make a huge difference. First of all, for those of you who don't know, this is how I basically make a living. This is my career. It's how I support my family. And I depend on you guys and your generosity to come help keep this channel alive and going, because, you can never depend on YouTube with their demonetization, all that stuff they like to do. So that's why I ask you guys every episode to come over here to Patreon, patreon.com, and you can search Just Informed Talk, and you can click this button, become a patron. It's a monthly donation, and you can give as little as $1 and as much as you'd like, and it's a monthly thing. You just set it and forget it, and then that ensures that I can be creating this content on a regular basis, and I'm so thankful for everybody who comes here and makes that contribution. So remember, guys, you guys are what make this channel possible, and I'm so thankful to everyone who makes that contribution on a monthly basis. Now, also, for those of you who aren't interested in that monthly donation, I totally understand. That's why I made this GoFundMe page. It's at gofundme.com /just-informed, and when you come here, you just click this donate now button. Once you hit that button, you can make an anonymous donation or a one-time donation, but every little cent, every bit helps, because you guys have to understand that I do this full-time, 24/7, 365, to keep you guys up to date on what's going on, no matter what's happening, whether it's Q posts or interesting news stories or content that needs to get to you. I'm here doing it 24/7, no matter what, rain, sleet, snow, hail, volcano. I don't know. I don't remember that post office thing. But today we're going to do one more thing at the end here, and we're going to talk about how God's grace is greater. And that's a little segment name I put at the end of this episode, each episode, where we talk a little bit about the positive side of the equation, because we take so much time talking about negative stuff here on this channel that it's quite important to remember what's most important for each and every one of us. And that which is most important is our understanding of the grace of God and how it is truly greater than anything here on earth. And today I want to share this parable. It's the parable of the lost sheep, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know it, but every time I read this, it touches my heart, because it reminds me of how when we're lost, God will come for us. That no matter what, even He'll leave the 99 to come find the one person who is lost and is broken. And God has done that for me, and every time I read this one, I can't help but feel that I know God came and found me in my time when I was not fully there, and saved me. And I have been saved ever since, and it's just been the most glorious and great journey ever. But I want to share this with you. It's of course, it's chapter 15 in the book of Luke, the Gospel of Luke. And it's starting it's verses 1 through 7, I believe. So here's the story, the parable of the lost sheep. It says, all the tax collectors and sinners were approaching to listen to him, and the Pharisees and scribes were complaining, this man welcomes sinners and eats with them. So he told them this parable. What man among you who has 100 sheep and loses one of them does not leave the 99 in the open field and go after the lost one until he finds it? When he has found it, he joyfully puts it on his shoulders, and coming home, he calls his friends and neighbors together, saying to them, rejoice with me, because I have found my lost sheep. I tell you, in the same way, there will be more joy in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous people who don't need repentance. And that's the grace of God. That's the greatness of God, that God will come and find you. Even if you don't think that you're capable or you're able, God will come and find you. He'll find the lost sheep, because that is what it is all about. As it says there, it says, there will be more joy in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous people who don't need repentance. And it's not to say that being righteous and being in a place where you don't need to repent is a bad thing. What it's saying is that we cannot forget as Christians our duty is to come and find those who are lost. And that's why I do this channel, is because God has given me this great gift. I attribute everything I have to God, and I know that He's come and found me and given me a new purpose and given me a new life in Him through our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And I don't want to let you guys down, and I don't want to let my family down, and I don't want to let, most importantly, God down. which is why I pray to God every day to make me his humble servant, to make me a man that he deserves, and make me the man that you deserve and my family deserves and everyone in this world deserves, because that's all I can ask for, is that God comes into my life and gives me the strength and courage and wisdom. But I know that God has come and found me, and he's given me this great purpose, and he's brought you guys here to listen to this message. And all I want to say is, spread this message, share this message. Remember that you can be used by God to go find the one lost sheep. Or if you yourself are that lost sheep, God will come and find you. Just have faith. God will come and find you, I promise. Because God loves you, and God's got a great plan for all of us. All we have to do is open our ears and open our hearts and make ourselves available to God. That's all we have to do, and God will find you, and he'll give you that greater purpose. But that's where I want to leave it. And I don't know if you guys can tell, that story always gets me, because it just reminds me of how awesome and great God is. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I want to say thank you all for watching, and I hope that message reaches you and touches your heart, and helps you to reach others and to bring that great, glorious message of God to the whole world. Because it certainly has saved my life, and I know it can save any life out there, anyone's life at all. So that's going to be it. If you guys haven't hit that subscribe button, now's a great time to do it. Come here, click that big red subscribe button. But that's going to be it for me. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching Just Informed Talk. My name is Craig. Godspeed, and God bless each and every one of you, Patriots.